Okay, well, in Victoria, there is a new plan to secure affordable renewable energy in the state. For his analysis, let's bring in Brad Rowswell, the Victorian Liberal State MP and Shadow Minister for Energy and Renewables. Brad, great to see you as always.
Yeah, likewise, Holly. Thanks for the opportunity.
This is great news. Can you just actually break down the plan for us, how it exactly will work and why it's so important, I guess?
Yeah, delighted to do so, Holly. Look, right around Victoria at the moment, renewable energy is being generated. But for that to make an impact on our state's grid, it needs transmission infrastructure. It needs a superhighway, really, to get it between where it's generated and where it needs to be, which is on the grid, which then makes a difference to homes and to businesses in terms of cost reliability and also energy affordability as well. So I was pleased to announce with the Victorian Liberal Nationals here a bold plan to connect an additional 1,800 megawatts of renewable energy from Western Victoria onto our energy grid. So just to give you a sense of that, that's enough power to power 2.4 million homes or businesses. It's larger renewable energy amount, 1,800 megawatts, than the Yallourn power station, which is due to come offline in 2028. Yallourn power station generates about 1,450 megawatts of coal power. And furthermore, getting 1,800 megawatts of Victorian homegrown renewable energy onto our grid will mean about a 13% reduction in our emissions, setting us on track to our net zero target at 2050. So something in that for everyone, Holly, and an important policy announcement as we do seek to reach those 2050 net zero targets.
Oh, incredible at reducing the state's overall emissions. Brad, I wanted to ask, why has it taken so long to get to this plan though?
Well, at the moment we have a plan in Victoria under the state Labor government to put renewable energy in right around the state. They've identified renewable energy zones in order to do that. But that is rendered useless effectively, Holly, without those energy superhighways that I was talking about, that necessary transmission infrastructure to get the renewable energy from its source to Victoria's power grid where it actually makes a difference. And that's where it's lacking. At the moment, the government in this state doesn't have a plan to connect that generated renewable energy that's planned and that will be online in the future to our grid. And that's where there's an opportunity, a policy void that we have identified and that we have come up with an alternative plan to solve. 2050 isn't that far away, Holly. It's not that far away at all, and the market has decided that coal is not the future energy source for our state and for our nation. So we can't just be saying we need a whole bunch more renewable energy. It's not just about the froth and the bubbles. It's not just about cutting the ribbons on the renewable energy projects. It's about ensuring it's connected to the grid where it will actually make a difference, and our plan will deliver that.
Yeah, I love that point that you made there. It's not just about sourcing the renewable energy, it's about actually making it usable to businesses and people right across the country as well as the state as well. Renewable as well, and the shift into renewable creates jobs, right?
It does, and I've only been the Shadow Minister for Energy and Renewables in this state for some 5 months or so, but I want to look at this portfolio through the prism of opportunity, through the prism of sustainable employment opportunities, investment opportunities, job opportunities, certainty of investment opportunities. And I think the old argument of coal versus renewables, of coal versus some other sort of power generation in our state is long gone. The free market has decided that that is the case. And we need to move on from that argument. We need to be now talking about what are the opportunities, what are the employment opportunities, what are the opportunities for economic certainty, and what are the opportunities to get clean, green, renewable power at an effective price, at a cheap price, into Victoria's homes and businesses. We've legislated for net zero emissions by 2050. So let's not get stuck in the rut of arguing the toss on what's a better energy source. Let's get on with delivering renewables for this state and for this nation.
Yeah, remarkable stuff. And this plan was only revealed just yesterday. When I was reading it, there's also plans to boost recycling and waste to energy technology. What is this all about and how will it work?
So, Holly, look, in short, we Nationals of Victoria have also announced another bold plan to say that by 2035, we don't want any of your household waste going to the tip, going to big holes dug in God's green earth and currently covered up. We think that method of dealing with our waste is an irresponsible way of dealing with our waste. Apart from the net positive emissions that are created by having rotting piles of rubbish sitting there as well. So what we want to do is adapt technology that's available right around the world, waste to energy technology, which turns rubbish into a power source, but also deals with our waste in an appropriate way. Now, as part of this also, we're not just saying that everything should be thrown into a big furnace, of course. Recycle, upcycle, and we should continue to do that. In fact, we want to see more recyclable plastics used as part of construction and major projects in this state. And we would task, through government purchasing power, departments under a Liberal and National government in this state to mandate that a certain percentage of recyclable plastics are used in new school builds, are used in roads, are used in major projects to create a sustainable market for recyclables in this state as well. The current model for dealing with rubbish in this state is unsustainable. It's not the right thing to do. It's in fact the irresponsible thing to do. There's an opportunity to change that, and the Liberal Nationals in Victoria are the party that's leading that conversation.
Oh, remarkable stuff. And it's so good to be using, I guess, technology in the way that we can keep moving forward and adapting and helping our environment as well and doing our part. Great stuff, Brad. Also, I wanted to touch on this lastly before we finish our conversation. I know it's a bit of a negative sort of subject at the moment, and we obviously talk about it every single week, but Victoria remains in lockdown. There were heavy protests over the weekend. People are angry. What's your thoughts this week?
Yeah, look, Holly, as I've said to you before, as a lawmaker, I'm never going to encourage anyone to be lawbreakers. I've had a consistent position on protests and riots over the weekend. Look, I understand why people are frustrated. I get it. I understand why people are frustrated. I've shared with you many times before the sentiment of anger and the sentiment of uncertainty that's in my community, and I've called for time and time again more certainty to be part of this conversation, more optimism to be part of this conversation. But expressing your anger at sworn Victoria police officers is the wrong thing to do. What I implore every frustrated Victorian to do is to direct their frustration and to direct their anger when they cast their vote at the November 2022 state election. That is the appropriate time and the appropriate way to convey to elected political officials your view on what is going on. Now, there's a whole bunch of people who will say, well, that's too far away. That's still 17 months away. We need to be doing something now. I also understand that, but I'm encouraging everyone to remain law-abiding citizens and to express your frustration through a democratic, peaceful way, rather than seeking to take out your anger on sworn Victoria police officers, because that is not the right thing to do.
Yeah, some great advice there, Brad. Thank you so much. Great to see you as always. Take care, and we'll see you next week.
Look forward to it, Holly. Thanks so much.